Welcome back to Uthanax Legion, a division of the Kolat Information Network. Apologies for the hiatus. We were waiting for news that the product had left China and was on our way to the States. And we have gotten that as well as a notification to verify mailing addresses. So, uh, don't think we're going to get it in December, but I'm expecting January, so time to start to continue the series. Today we are going to talk about the multi-class items in Into the Accordlands. This is the last video of the items section. Previous episodes can be found in the description below. So we're going to start off with a reprint. This is Breastplate. It's an common level 2 item. It's an armor and is a plate style armor. Is for both fighters and clerics, and is gives the bearer +2 armor class. Nothing spectacular, just an easy to understand or common. Probably will only see play in limited formats, um, unless we have some sort of um, Uber unit, um, like Zod, in the future. Uh, but for the most part, this is uh, this is a nice reprint for limited. Next is my favorite item in the set. So this is Syndragon's Tome. Is a legendary level 7 item. Is a book and a treasure for wizards and clerics. No bonuses, but has the spend order, spend the tome, and discard a card. Search your deck for an equal or lower level dragon and put it into play adjacent to this character. Shuffle. Um, it's a very powerful effect, even though you have to spend the tome, discard a card, and spend the character this is attached to. Typically, that's going to be your warlord. Um, since warlords are level 5s, and you can equip a level 7 item if they're in their starting rank. And then being able to search up dragons is quite good. Um, we have quite a number of them that got printed into the Accordlands, including one in each class or each faction, which is a nice trend. Be aware of this one. I think it will be quite good. Next is the other legendary from the multi-classes. Uh, this is Finaltour's Drought. This is a level 7 item, Potion Treasure, for fighters and rogues. Grants +1 armor class, and has the ability Order, spend the Drought. This turn, this character suffers disadvantage on strike rolls, and opposing characters suffer disadvantages on strike rolls targeting this character. So basically, um, it's a control piece to make it difficult for your opponent to deal with your character. Um, Fighters and rogues like to be on the front rank. Um, Now, giving your character disadvantage is a problem because it does make it harder for you. Um, if you have some uber or super unit fighter that's just massively big, rolling 2 dice, and as long as you don't roll a 1, you're probably hitting something. Um, Rogues can kind of use this to dodge around stuff until they can sneak in and do something massive. Um, I could see this being used with warlords that are multi-class, so that particularly maybe you could use your spells for uh, for wizards um, to basically bypass this dealing with disadvantage and just throw spells at folks. Interesting card. Um, Not sure exactly how well it fits in most builds, but I could see it in the fighter Uber decks. Next is another reprint. This is Flail. It is an uncommon level 4 item that is a weapon and a treasure for fighters, rogues, and clerics. Grants +2 attack and the ability this character's melee strikes ignore armor class bonuses from shields and weapons. It's a very effective item, and I have seen it used in uh, certain metagames in the past, and I expect it will also be used here, particularly early on in the format. There's a lot of items that grant weapons and new shields that grant armor class bonuses. Being able to bypass it makes it easier to hit, and that's quite important. Next is a reprint also, Heavy Crossbow. So this is a common level 5 item that's a bow. It is for fighters and for rogues. It has two abilities, Spend Order, perform a +4 range strike, and Spend Order, perform a +2 range strike, targeting a character 3 ranks away. Um, a standard ranged attack must target something 2 ranks away. So this basically increases your range, but also weakens the ability to hit. Um, both abilities um, can be relevant. Um, Note you won't be able to use both of these in the same turn unless you have a way to ready the character that is attached to crossbow, as the spend order um, requires it to be to spend the characters attached to. Next is Heresy Ward. This is a uncommon level 5 item for clerics and wizards. No stat bonuses, but its ability is Order. You get to spend the ward. Your other target character gains +3 AC this turn, and an additional +3 AC when targeted by spells this turn. Um, +3 AC is a decent amount of defensive bonus, um, and +6 if against spell-based decks, clerics and wizards, is can be very important. The biggest thing that takes this down a peg for me is it has to be your other target character. Um, so if you're in a situation where the only character you have left is your warlord, you can't even use these to buff it to try to save it. Although I understand from a design point why they didn't do that. Um, so unfortunately I don't have any good thoughts on where this will be played outside of limited. Next is Premonition Pendant. So this is a common level 4 item that is a necklace. It is for rogues and for wizards. Its ability is Order, Spend Premonition Pendant, Survey. And as a reminder to survey, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put them, put any number of them on the top or the bottom of your deck in any order. Um, primarily, um, the decks that I think will use this the most would be the Mare Haven deck in Free Kingdoms. It's a rogue-based deck that deals with a lot with ranged attacks, but also deals a lot with looking or seeing the top card of decks. While her ability allows you to do that, being able to manipulate the top card of your decks is important, even if it does take an action to do so. Uh, Uses in other decks, I don't know um, how popular this card will be outside of that deck. Next up is Ritual Dagger. This is an uncommon level 5 item weapon dagger for rogues and for clerics. And this has the so it has +2 attack bonus and has the ability this character gains an additional +2 attack for each wounded character in play. Excuse me. When I first read this card, I thought it was +2 attack for each wounded character an opponent had in play. Um, this at least makes it reading it again now, this makes it better than I originally thought, since you can have a lot of multi hit point characters on your side of the table, and every time one of those gets wounded, this gives a bigger bonus. Uh, Dwarves, particularly, and probably um, some of the I'd almost list the Sutek in this group as well. Um, have a lot of hit points, um, and so even if you get even if you just have one wound, a +4 is big. If you have multiple, it's 6 +6 +8 is ridiculous. So um, I would expect to see this floating around tables, and depending on the matchup, can be very feared. Next is a rock arm. This is an uncommon level 5 item for fighters and clerics. It gains +1 attack uh, and the ability react. Before this character performs a melee strike, spend rock arm. The strike inflicts an additional wound. Um, this is an effect we've seen before um, uh, for other classes at other times in the game. I definitely uh, see this being used. Um, you have um, you have high attack fighters um, that you can guarantee or almost guarantee that they will hit, and it's very easy to just um, spend this to deal an extra wound. Um, and I could definitely see characters. Nothrog, I could see using it, and I could definitely see Dwarf using it, particularly because dwarfs have a lot in both classes. Um, Notice that it does not have a subclass, so you can have multiple rock arms attached, um, and definitely could hit, do um, additional wounds um, very quickly. I expect to see this a lot at tables, hopefully in January. Um, Next is a rare item. This is Shield of Spurning. It is a level 7 shield that is both for fighter and clerics. Grants the bearer +3 armor class and has the ability to react after target character performs a melee strike targeting this character. Spend Shield of Spurning, move the target backward 1 rank. So after the attack, if the character survives, um, whether the first attack missed um, or if the attacker dealt a wound, whatever, as long as the attached character here survives, you get to push that character back a rank. So that messes up a couple of things. It messes up their ranks, um, and it can effectively mess up their turn because, um, let's say your opponent attacked with a warlord that had multiple attacks. You survive the first attack and then push him back a rank. Now he can't attack anymore, and so he may have wasted his additional attacks. Um, Also, pushing a character from the front rank back a rank may make your opponent have to rearrange his characters. Something may have to fall forward, and that may mess up his turn. So it's a very interesting ability as a defensive piece. Next up is Spell Blocker. This is an uncommon level 5 item shield that is for fighters and wizards. Interesting combination. Um, Grants +2 armor class and the ability magic resistance +5. To recap that, the ability for magic resistance is limited react after this character is targeted with a spell. Succeed with a magic resistance check of DC 20 to cancel the spell. Um, so you would add your character skill and the +5 bonus to that, and then roll a d20 to calculate if you could cancel the spell. Um, this one is going to depend on what your local metagame looks like. If you have a lot of cleric and wizard decks, this is definitely something that's going to make your way into decks. If you don't, then um, it's it, +2 armor class for a level 5 item is okay, but I would definitely want something a little stronger against non spell based decks. Next is Sunseeker's Goggles. This is a common level 4 item for fighters and for wizards. Again, an interesting combination. Um, it grants the bearer +1 armor class and also +2 skill. It's a fairly innocuous item. Um, I honestly don't expect to see much of this outside of limited formats, um, as there are other items that we've gotten um, that are better at doing either of these effects, even if they can't be played on both of the fighters and wizards. All right, and we come to the last item, Swamp Book. This is a level 5 uncommon item book that is for rogue and wizards. It grants the bearer +1 skill and has the ability react After another character within one rank is targeted by a strike, spend Swamp Book. Redirect the strike to a character adjacent to the strike's original target. Again, this is a card designed to mess with your opponent's plans. Maybe you've got a warlord that's in the line of fire, and you want to redirect it to something else. Um, Maybe you're trying to protect an important character. Or maybe you don't want it to die yet because you've got an action you want to use on it. This this level of protection is very good, and uh, it's fairly easy to attach. Um, Level 3 character in rank 2 or rank 3 can play it. Um, Warlord can play it on itself. Um, just beware, it has to be another character that's targeted and not itself. Okay, so that is the end of the multi-class items and in the items section in general. What did you think of my analysis? Um, if you liked it, didn't like it, had comments about specific cards, etc., leave that in the comments below. And until next time, no matter the game, there is no escape from the tiger.